Okay, so I'm up to a certain point now. I'm sort of lucky I still have live bark. Took some calipers, took a measurement, and I'm down to 2 5/16. And now I'm in the middle of making a 2-inch dowel that's going to be 2 5/32 diameter. Okay. I thought that I could lock my lock nut and engage the feed that way. So that way I could have cut a taper on either end, but I can't do it on this lathe. They won't let you lock this and this at the same time. Which that's my threading lock, the lock nut to the lead screw. And this is my feed. Now the only way I can change the feed is by changing the speed or changing the gears at the end of the lathe. I don't have a quick change gearbox on this. So I'm going to keep on going at this till I hit my 2 5/32. So that's the hole saw. It's making a hole probably because of vibration of 2 5/32. And I am I'm getting close. Closer than I thought. Gotta remove like an eighth of an inch. So as I don't F it up, I'm gonna try it now. Almost there. Man, I am so lucky I crashed my lathe. And on the previous time that I crashed my lathe, the manufacturer put a steel pin in here. He didn't put a fusible pin. It should be made out of aluminum or bronze or brass. Something that'll shear before anything else breaks, right? And I had bent this end of it. You can still see remnants of it where I had to chuck it and remachine it in the lathe and put it back on there. But I can spin my lead screw. If I lock up my gearbox, I can spin my lead screw without spinning. So well, this is my attempt at fixing the broken pin. I took the compound and gave it a 20 taper, 20 thou taper per 6 inch, which is 40 per foot, 40,000 per foot. I don't know if that's the real taper of the pin. I really don't. But it was 0.1702 on one side, and it was 0.1658, maybe 60 on the other side. And this is my pin right here. So I'm about to measure it at one end. It should be at least 1650. Where's my caliper? Oh, here it is. And I'm almost zeroed on that. There. And I am reading 19. 19 on the small end. So I still have to come down 1940, 30 thou. So let's try that again. So if I take 10 here, that'll be 20 total. I'm just going to turn across slide by hand. I have 1665 on the small end, and I have 1770, 75 on the other end. So I'm not too far off. I'm going to try it out. I hope it works. Well, I completed the pin and it fits. And yes, I am surprised. I haven't done any machine work for a while now. And the pin's very well wedged in there. So that's a fix. Alright. I also noticed something. See that wiper in the back? It actually bottomed out when it crashed. And there is some damage to it. I probably have to reprint this. That's felt, 2 neodymium magnets, and a print. And it keeps the ways clean and moist. Well, there's a slight change of plan. These, I was told I should go in 4 inches to give it that extra strength, and that's a pretty big dowel, right? And 4 inches would be making it pretty sturdy, but that's going to bring it off the ground like maybe 21 inches, which is still not too bad for a coffee table. Okay. Now what I have to do is, since I want to put the legs in at an angle, I got to make myself I can use this, I suppose. Put this through the jointer, make sure it's squared, and then pilot drill a hole at the angle I wish, and then all I have to do is line up the surface with the lines. There's 3 lines, right, going to the center of gravity of the table, and this is going to be at an angle. But I need to know the size of this drill bit so I can get it started on the right angle, right? And this drill bit is 1/4 of an inch, so I got to make a pilot hole in my block 1/4 of an inch. Now, since this is too thick because the drill bit is not that long, I have a drill bit here, cobalt, drills really well in lumber, and it is 1/4, and as I suspected, I won't be able to, so I gotta get a thinner block. And here I have it. Should be plenty of room to set this at an angle. Just going to swing it to one side so I can get my wrench in there. That's 10 degrees right there. All over. And drill it in there. So you drill, and like I said, this should fit in here if it's a quarter. Yeah, it fits. That goes there. Alright, like I said, all I gotta do is follow the direction of the lines. I got one going this way. And I should mark around where this hole's gonna come out. So that way I know where to put it. There, so I put a line down the center of the hole, and I got one on the side where the drill bit comes out. So now all I have to do is hit my mark, and I'm going to have to extend this out a little ways so I can see it. Line, line. That's the direction of it. Everything's conking on at once. I think I came prepared. I got a spare. So now for the hole saw. It loads up pretty quickly. Well, I found a tool that works pretty good at cleaning out. It's a Forstner bit, and it does a really good job of cleaning out the leftovers from the hole saw. So I'm just picking at it like that till I get my 3 or 4 inches deep. Well, I went down 3 cups deep on that hole saw. It gives me 3 inches, so it cuts around an inch. There's actually a little bit deeper in there, but my Forstner bit won't go any deeper than 3, so I'm going to fill that up with epoxy when I put the leg in to give it something to hold on to. So I had to take off another inch off of the leg on the dowel. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe and hit the like button, and I'll show you what I did next. I took the table with the 3 legs on it, okay, and I brought it over here on the table, and I put my pencil on this board here, and I went and marked around the leg, okay, as you can see, okay, I marked the post, and most of all, that's important, I marked the position with 3 marks. Those 3 marks have to line up with the 3 marks on the post. So this is what I get. Okay. And those are lined up properly. They're going to end up flat when I put that on the table. On the ground, I should say. And here's how I held it. The handle from the Betsy clamp is preventing this from rolling over, because if it rolls over when you're cutting it in the bandsaw, you're going to screw up your piece, okay? And that's the cut I got. And this is maple, right? It's really tough. It's not white maple. It's the green variety, okay? Green leaf variety. And now with this, I'm going to take a sandpaper and sand off the shavings, okay. And it's like I said, you just put it in there and you line up the 3 marks. There, the 3 marks are lined up. So that does look flat. Now to do this one. So I'm hurrying now. I mixed some epoxy, okay, and this is the stuff I'm using. Bob Smith Industries Quick Cure 5-minute epoxy, and I mixed it up in its tray, putting some in the legs, some in the bottom of the hole, and whatever's left is going to give it extra support, whatever oozes out. So I gotta hurry up, so I can't do both at the same time, hold the camera and so what I've done is actually level out the tree stump top. I measured it from here to the ground all the way around, okay, and then I was using my level as a straight edge to figure out where the high spots were, and then I kept on going down till I had a smooth gluing surface for this stuff. It's not a, I think what they called it was alberite or countertop material, but this is a poly material, and it was used for camper doors, okay, a fridge door, you could fill it in with this stuff, but this makes a great countertop. And if I take you over here, I wasn't quite sure how to glue it to the tree trunk table. So what I've done is epoxy a piece to a piece of lumber to see if it holds. And I scuffed up the back side of it with a sandpaper, so it would have grooves for the epoxy to seal into. And if this holds, then I'm going to glue that poly onto that table. So so as not to make an error while cutting that material out, I made an outline with a pencil of this log, and I'm going to cut it out and then scribe it onto my material I showed you earlier, that poly stuff, and then it's epoxy time. I think epoxy is the best bet for me right now. I tried it with contact cement on something that was already planed, and it didn't glue that well. Of course, it was a water-based epoxy, contact cement, but yeah. Let's start cutting this out. Just gonna rough out the cut for now, and then cutting out the little details is gonna take a while. It seems to be making good work of this. If I take my time and don't have a slip of the knife, it seems to be cutting out or tracing out, cutting out the trace. I'll get it. I'll get it. I'll see it. It seems to be working very well. I thought I was going to have a lot more hard time than this, because countertop material, normally you got to go through a saw and then you got to file out the edges. But this seems to be doing very well with just a knife. Well, I'm cutting out pieces, right, as I go along, so I can have a flat surface, so I can actually get the bend going. And so far so good. Like I'm taking it in small pieces. And you shouldn't cut that way. Well, I'm happy how it turned out. The edges came out nice. It'll help protect the bark so you don't hook into the bark, right? And I'm going to, it's not glued yet, right? But I'm going to glue this with epoxy, and then once that's done, I'm going to flip it on this surface, but I'm going to put newspaper on it. I don't want to scratch this surface, right? So I'm going to flip it upside down, and I'm going to put probably some Minwax polyurethane. Buy 2 cans of it and give it 2 or 3 coats, whatever the can wants to give me, right? And then that'll be the end of this project. That's like that. Put the other way around. Oh, quite heavy. Here. So, sweep. I should probably blow that off with the air hose. Okay. Start the compressor. Tag on the goggles over here just in case, and safety glasses. I don't want to get stuff in the eyeballs. You can give a second coat. You can give a second coat within an hour. Very small. If you can apply a second coat within an hour. Okay. I chose a semi-gloss new wax. I want the wet look. I wanted the wet look, but I don't want something that'll shine and glare in your eyes. So I chose a semi-gloss. This is it. Semi-gloss min wax. Oh, a little bit of dust. So this is what I get after 2 coats. Maybe you'll see it better over here. It's semi-gloss, right? And it gives it like a wet look on the bark. You know, hopefully it'll help keep it together. Okay. The only thing I'm worried about is if I got any overspray under here. I hope not. But that's the end product.